We all bring our baggage to life, and sometimes we do things we shouldn't do, and it was awful what I did.
This morning, former President Bill Clinton opening up about his affair with then intern Monica Lewinsky, including when he told his wife about it.
I told her exactly what happened, when it happened. I said, I feel terrible about it.
I was so, personally just hurt. And, I can't believe this. I can't believe you lied.
She said, well, you have to go tell your daughter. She said, that's worse than me. And so I did that, which was awful.
The former president blaming anxiety in office for his transgressions.
You've been in a 15-round prize fight that was extended to 30 rounds. And here's something that'll take your mind off it for a while.
They're revealing comments part of the new Hulu documentary, Hillary.
Good morning.
Focused on her life and career in the spotlight.
I defended and stood by him because I thought the impeachment process was wrong, but that wasn't the necessary answer to what I would do with my marriage.
The Clintons' candid revelations following years of scrutiny after Bill's actions with Monica Lewinsky.
Looking back on what happened then, through the lens of Me Too now, do you think differently or feel more responsibility?
No, I felt terrible then, and I came to grips with it.
In 2018, Clinton speaking to Craig about Lewinsky, saying he wouldn't have done anything differently.
Do you feel like you owe her an apology?
No, I do. I do not. I've never talked to her, but I did say publicly on more than one occasion that I was sorry.
I eventually kind of came to this point where I had to realize that I couldn't run away from what happened to me.
Last October, Lewinsky told Savannah how she's transformed her own pain into an anti-bullying crusade.
What did it feel like in that moment to come out and reclaim your story?
Well, it was terrifying. I think that it really could have gone differently, and I'm so incredibly grateful for how things have changed.
Clinton now saying it was unfair Lewinsky's name became synonymous with scandal.
I feel terrible about the fact that Monica Lewinsky's life was defined by it, unfairly, I think. Over the years, I've watched her trying to get a normal life back again. But you got to decide how to define normal.
Steph, so we heard the former Secretary of State there defending her husband in part by saying the impeachment process was wrong, but said she was unsure about whether to stay in the marriage. What else did she say about that decision to stay in the marriage?
Well, it's interesting. She draws this real distinction between those two decisions. One decision whether or not to defend him, which she did during the impeachment process, and the other deciding whether or not they still had a marriage after all of this. They said that they went through counseling, what Hillary Clinton described as painful counseling, and then Bill Clinton says it was one of the hardest things that he ever did. Obviously, in the end, they stayed together.
Yeah, it's remarkable to hear them speak so emotionally about this moment. They also open up about a moment with Chelsea Clinton after the revelations. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is actually an iconic piece of video from that time. It's the day after Bill Clinton comes out and admits to having this affair with Monica Lewinsky, and they were on their way to Martha's Vineyard. And Chelsea Clinton stands between them. She's only 18 at the time and grabs both of their hands. You see it in the video there. And Hillary Clinton says at that moment she was so struck by her daughter and how strong her daughter was and how she knew that that's exactly what they needed in that moment. Pretty remarkable.
That documentary, by the way, out on Hulu today. Just really quickly, what was their motivation? Do we know why they decided to do this now?
Well, one of the things that Hillary Clinton says is that she's not running for anything. So it was an opportunity to be open. I know there are a lot of people out there that sort of wished that kind of openness happened a while ago, but it's out there now.
Really great point. A lot of people going to want to see this for sure. Steph, thank you so much. Great report.